We've revamped the image gallery by giving you the ability to use folders. You can create new folders by using the button on the left or the button on the top right. When you're inside of a folder, you can upload images directly into it. If you already have images inside of your project, there's two ways to add them to new folders. You can select multiple by holding Control or click one and hold Shift and click another one. Right click them and select Move To, or there's a bar on the bottom that also has Move To, and you can select the folder that way. Anytime you're using text justification, there's always scenarios that play out where there's too much spacing in between words. For some of the more difficult paragraphs, we've now added the option to change letter spacing manually for those paragraphs. To find the new option, just click on the cogwheel next to whatever paragraph and you'll see the new option there. This only works for print, and we've made the cogwheel and the bar to the right of the paragraph turn purple, so it's very easy for you to see that you've changed the letter spacing. If you navigate to the Elements tab, we've now given you a letter spacing option here so you can find all of the different paragraphs that you've adjusted. We now have two new features for navigating your book. If you're working in the editor and you want to sync your previewer to where you're editing, you can now hold Control and right bracket, and it'll jump to that exact spot in the previewer. And on the flip side, if you're navigating through your previewer and you want to make an edit, you can hold Control and do left bracket, and it'll jump to that exact spot in the editor. Both shortcuts are customizable as well. For most elements inside of Lacuna, you can adjust the outer spacing of the element using presets. In most cases, this is what you want, but there are scenarios like subheadings where you may not want the top spacing showing up when it's the first element on a page. You can now navigate to the preset settings and go to the spacing tab. Any element that allows you to control the spacing around it will now have a rules section where you can trim the top spacing on a page start. When you're creating more complicated books and you have a lot of elements in your book, like subheadings, call out boxes, more advanced headers, it's sometimes hard to keep the body text aligned across the left and right page spread. We've created a feature called grid snapping to solve this problem. It was in the application last update, but we have dramatically improved how it works behind the scenes. We've now created a new panel for it in the print settings menu called spread alignment. There are two types of grid snapping. There's last paragraph and there's every paragraph. Last paragraph has been in the application for a very long time. Every paragraph is the newer edition. Last paragraph is on by default, but we do suggest using every paragraph on your books, especially if they're more complicated. You'll sometimes notice that when you have every paragraph turned on, you get a lot more spacing underneath things like subheadings. That's a good indicator that the spacing around your subheading and the font size that you're using is not balanced with your body text size. You can usually remedy this pretty easily by adjusting the top and bottom spacing around the subheading or whatever element is giving you trouble. There's now two ways to restrict content based on the device type that you're rendering for. The original way to do it is to create two separate sections, one for print and one for ebook, and then you can create different content for each one. That works in most cases, but if you don't want to manage two sections, we've now created what we call a device specific block. You can create a block in the toolbar, or you can hold Control Shift and D. You can set the device type to print only or ebook only, and the backend will automatically use the correct version for you. You can place any element inside of a device specific block. To make it easier for you to find which ones are print only blocks or ebook only blocks, if you search by elements, we've now added a small icon next to the element that lets you know which device it's locked to. We've added a new section device type called hidden. These are useful if you have sections in your book that you do not want to render in the actual final product, while also not wanting to delete them from the project. Right click one or more sections in the navigation, go down to Set Device Type and select Hidden. Hidden sections will turn gray and you'll see a new icon next to it. The previewer will also show you a section hidden screen so you know exactly what you're looking at. And we've also added a new filter sections on the bottom next to the Add New Sections button that allows you to turn those hiddens off if you don't want to see them while you're working. We've now made all keyboard shortcuts customizable in the application. If you go to the Help menu and select Keyboard Shortcuts, you'll see the new panel. To change any of the keyboard shortcuts, just hover over the shortcut and click it, and you can record your new shortcut in whatever configuration you want. We've also given you multiple ways to reset those shortcuts to default so you can experiment as much as you want. In an effort to increase our multiple language capability, we have recently added Swedish. You can change a language on a book that's already created in your book metadata. When you're using numbered chapters and you have the numbered format as spelled, it will now use the language that you have selected instead of always defaulting to English. If you have a lot of footnotes or annotations in your book, we've now made it very easy for you to edit them using the previewer. This only works on ebook previewers, but you can click on any footnote and you'll see the panel pop up. There's now a new pencil icon that you can click and it'll automatically jump you to that footnote and allow you to edit it in place.